All right, today is Thursday, January 22nd. It's the morning after the second city council meeting that I've had. I just wanted to give you a little update about what's going on in the city. First of all, those of you interested in the Kutsky Park neighborhood, we ended up coming to a compromise on the parking issue that we had discussed last week, whereby most of the time that parking will be maintained. There's a time in the morning where it won't be there, but from driving through the area, it doesn't look like it's used for overnight parking very often anyway. So this will allow just a brief window for Public Works to come in and clean the streets in the cases where there's snow. A little bit more meat on the plate of this meeting than what's happened in the past. A couple things the citizens might be interested in. First of all, Mayo Civic Center. What we actually had to pass is we didn't do anything related with taxes other than make a recommendation of what we felt was the appropriate way of funding this, and there will be an opportunity for the public to weigh in later on this issue. But essentially what we recommended was a 1% lodging tax and a 1% tax on food and beverage to pay for the capital costs of the Mayo Civic Center. And along with the expansion, what a lot of people don't realize is this also is aimed at fixing some of the issues that we have with the older buildings. And what that's going to allow us to do is probably decrease the operating deficit that we've been running on that facility for some time. But we didn't actually take any action that's going to implement the tax. The state would have to do a couple of things before that would ever happen. Next item that came up, there were a number of things on the consent agenda that I didn't feel were appropriate to be on the consent agenda. First and foremost was a study of 65th Street Northwest. Because of the bomb threat that happened at the government center yesterday, there was no opportunity to have a committee of the whole before the meeting, and actually since I took office we have not had a single committee of the whole yet, which is a little bit disappointing. And somehow this $400,000 spent on this study that was put on as a consent agenda item. So as a result, we had no opportunity to discuss it, and the public had no opportunity to weigh in on this. And myself and Councilman Bilderbeck did not feel this was appropriate use of taxpayer funds. We thought there were a lot better things that we could do if we're going to spend $400,000. It could have been spent a much wiser way. Unfortunately for my side, we lost that 5-2. They went ahead and approved it without any public input, without any prior discussion. So that was disappointing that went ahead that way. If it's something that's important to you, maybe you want to call your council member and ask them what their take on that was. But I see this as we're continuing to overbuild our infrastructure to accommodate developable land, which is not necessary right now. Certainly, given this times, it was pointed out that the money used was from sales tax, so even not doing this would not help us with our overall budget. Yet at the same time, I would say there are a number of capital improvements can be made to existing infrastructure, which would better benefit our community than what's going on at the 65th Street interchange. Really, the only reason that there's a desire to do this right now is because a couple of landowners went in, speculated on some land, and now we're going to bail them out by putting a interchange in there. And this interchange would eventually happen because 55th Street is not done in such a manner that it can't handle the volume of traffic right now, and there's not an easy fix for that. So it would probably happen. I just don't think it needs to happen for years at this point, particularly with 75th Street interchange already there. And the study itself is about $800,000, of which the city is paying half of that. And then after that, actually, $5-10 million, something like that, to put that interchange in. And I think our priorities should be elsewhere at this point, certainly since there's no desire for, there's no need for more developable land at this point. We have an incredible amount of residential subdivisions that are not, not selling land right now because we're not building that many homes. Getting back to the agenda, that's most of the issues that were anyway contentious that were discussed last night, and I think I'll just leave it there. No need to make this any longer than I have to.